What's up? I hope you're all having a good day or night, depending on where you are or what time you're watching this right now. So, today I'm just continuing with my book series. So this would be the 8th one. This is the 8th one, and then there's one more after this, and then I'll be done with it. But yeah. Anyway, we all know what book I'm going to be reading. It's going to be the same one I've been reading. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So, this will be pages 175 to 200. So, yeah, one more video after this of reading this, and then I'll be done. Then the last video won't have like a full 25 pages. It'll only be like, I don't know, about 70, because I think there's only, hang on, let me check. There is, yeah, about only 217 pages in the book. So, last video is only going to be 17 pages, but I'd rather that only have 17 pages than this one have like whatever 25 plus 17 is. So I don't want to do simple math right now, so you do it for me. How about that? You do it for me. So anyway, let's get started. And as usual, gonna recap a bit on page 275. I mean 175, not 275. Yeah. Alright, this is where we left off. Just gonna read the last bit. There were actually one or two decent comics in the bin, but I slipped them under a pile of paperwork on Mr. Ira's desk. Hopefully, those ones won't turn up until I'm in high school. Alright, on to Thursday. Today, during morning announcements, I got the news I was hoping for. And saying, and the new cartoonist for the school paper is Greg Heffley. The paper came out today at lunchtime and everyone was reading it. I really wanted to pick up a copy to see my name in print, but I decided to just play it cool for a while instead. I sat at the end of the lunch table so there would be plenty of room for me to start signing autographs for my new fans. But nobody was coming over to tell me how great my comic was, and I started to get the feeling something was wrong. I grabbed the paper and went into the bathroom to check it out, and when I saw my comic, I practically had a heart attack. Mr. Ira told me he had made some minor edits to my comic. I thought he just meant he fixed spelling mistakes and stuff like that, but he totally butchered it. The comic he ruined was one of my favorite ones. Too. In the original, Grayton the Cretin is taking a math test, and he accidentally eats it, and then the teacher yells at him for being such a moron. By the time Mr. Ira was done with it, you practically couldn't recognize it as the same strip. So the new one, this is the new one. Grayton is saying, or the title of the strip is called Grayton, the Curious Student. And he's saying, teacher, if x plus 43 equals 89, then what would x be? And then the teacher says, Grayton, that x would be 46. And then there's this giant box saying, from Grayton saying, thanks kids, if you want to learn more about math, be sure to visit Mr. Humphrey during his office hours or visit the library. and check out the newly expanded math and science section. Yeah, as you all know, I usually hate on Greg Heffley, but this is, I would, I would crash out if that happened to me. Like, don't put my, don't, don't put my name on something that I didn't create, because they still put Greg's name on that, and he definitely did not want that. So, I wouldn't be happy. So I kind of understand what Greg's going through in that situation, because that sucks. That's pretty bad. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I won't be signing autographs anytime soon. Now it's getting shoved, getting called the teacher's pet. Alright, we're on to March. On a Wednesday, me and Rowley were enjoying our hot chocolate in the cafeteria with the rest of the patrols. Today, and there was an announcement on the loudspeaker. And it says, Rowley Jefferson, report to Mr. Winsky's office immediately. Rowley went down to Mr. Winsky's office, and when Rowley came back 15 minutes later, he looked pretty shaken up. Apparently, Mr. Winsky got a call from a parent who said they witnessed Rowley terrorizing the kindergartners when he was supposed to be walking them home from school, and Mr. Winsky was really mad about it. Rowley said Mr. Winsky yelled at him for about 10 minutes and said his actions disrespected the badge. It's that one. I'm trying not to show the picture as close anymore because every time I do, I mess it up and show you the wrong page. But there it is. I think I might just know what this is all about. Last week, Rowley had to take a quiz during 4th period, so I walked the kindergartners home on my own. It had rained that morning, and there were a lot of worms on the sidewalk, so I decided to have some fun with the kids. There he goes, chasing the kids with a stick, with worms on it. There's Greg Heffley for you. But some neighborhood lady saw what I was doing, and she yelled at me from her front porch. It was Mr. Irvine, who was friends with Rowley's mom. She must have thought I was Rowley, because I was borrowing his coat, and I wasn't about to correct her either. And she's saying, Rowley Jefferson, the principal, is going to hear about this. And Greg, or Rowley, is saying, yes, ma'am. Whatever. I forgot about the whole incident until today. Anyway, Mr. Winsky told Rowley he's going to have to apologize to the kindergartners tomorrow morning, and that he's suspended from patrols for a week. I know I should probably just tell Mr. Winsky it was me who chased the kids with the worms, but I wasn't ready to set the record straight just yet. I knew if I confessed, I'd lose my hot chocolate privileges, and that right there was enough to make me keep quiet for the time being. At dinner tonight, Mom could tell something was bothering me, so she came up to my room afterward to talk. I told her I was in a tough situation, and I didn't know what to do. I got to give Mom credit for how she handled it. She did not try to pry and get all the details. All she said was that I should try to do the right thing, because it's our choices that make us who we are. I figure that's pretty decent advice, but I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. Alright, now we're on to Thursday. Well, I was up all night tossing and turning over this Rowley situation, but I finally made up my mind. I decided the right thing to do was to just let Rowley take one for the team this time around. And Rowley saying, I'm sorry I terrorize you children. See, that is probably what makes me dislike Greg the most right there. I mean, there's a lot of reasons I don't like Greg Heffley, but that reason, that right there, is like, that's always been like the number one reason why I really, really don't like Greg Heffley, like, at all. On the way home from school, I came clean with Rowley and told him the whole truth about what happened and how it was me who chased the kids with the worms. Then I told him there were lessons we could both learn from this. I told him to be more careful about I told him I learned to be more careful about what I do in front of Mrs. Irvine's house, and that he learned a valuable lesson too, which is this: be careful about who you lend your coat to. And Greg saying, I guess this has been a learning experience for us both. To be honest with you, my message didn't seem to be getting through to Rowley. We were supposed to hang out after school today, but he said he was just going to go home and take a nap. I couldn't really blame him, because if I didn't have my hot chocolate this morning, I wouldn't have much energy either. When I got home, Mom was waiting for me at the front door. She asked, "Did you do the right thing?" And he said, "Yeah," with a straight face, thinking that was the truth. I'm trying to keep it together. I really am. It's not, it's, I don't like Greg Heffley, okay? Mom took me out to get some ice cream as a special treat, and what this whole episode has taught me is that every once in a while, it's not such a bad idea to listen to your mom, or mother. There we go, I'm gonna turn the page. Alright, we're going to Tuesday now. There was another announcement on the loudspeaker today, and to be honest with you, I kind of figured this one was coming. It says, Greg Heffley, please report to Mr. Winsky's office. I knew it was just a matter of time before I got busted for what happened last week. When I got to Mr. Winsky's office, he was really mad. Mr. Winsky told me that an anonymous source had informed him that I was the real culprit in the worm-chasing incident. Then he told me I was relieved of my safety patrol duties effective immediately. Well, it doesn't take a detective to figure out that the anonymous source was Rowley. I can't believe Rowley went and backstabbed me like that. While I was sitting there getting chewed out by Mr. Winsky, I was thinking I need to remember to give my friend a lecture about loyalty. Later on today, Rowley got reinstated as a patrol and get this, he actually got a promotion. Mr. Winsky said Rowley had exhibited dignity under false suspicion. I thought about really letting Rowley have it for ratting me out like that, but then I realized something. In June, all the officers in the safety patrols go on a trip to Six Flags, and they get to take along one friend. I need to make sure Rowley knows I'm his guy. Now he's helping Rowley out, saying, "Let me get that for you, Captain." Alright. I guess we're skipping a whole week because we're on to next Tuesday. Like I said before, the worst part of getting kicked off safety patrol is losing your hot chocolate privileges. Every morning, I go to the back door of the cafeteria so Rowley can hook me up. But either my friend has gone deaf or he's too busy kissing the other officers' butts to notice me at the window. There he is trying to get his attention. I don't think so, Greg. I don't think so. Not today. In fact, now that I think of it, Rowley has been totally giving me the cold shoulder lately, and that's really these things is that Colin is supposed to be my backup friend. Those guys are acting totally ridiculous today, or totally ridiculous. Today, Rowley and Colin were wearing those matching t-shirts and it made me just about want to vomit. They're best friends, best friends, best friends, best friends. After dinner tonight, I saw Rowley and Colin walking up the hill together, chumming it up. Colin had his overnight bag, so I knew they were going to do a sleepover at Rowley's. And I thought, well, two can play at that game. The best way to get back at Rowley was to get a new best friend of my own. But unfortunately, the only person who came to mind right at that moment was Fregley. I went up to Fregley's with my overnight bag so Rowley could see I had other friend options too. When I got there, Fregley was in his front yard stabbing a kite with a stick. That's when I started to think maybe this wasn't the best idea after all. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. But Rowley was in his front yard and he was watching me, so I knew there was no turning back. I invited myself into Fregley's house. His mom said she was excited to see Fregley with a playmate, which was a term I was not too enthusiastic about. Jeez, I can't grab it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Me and Fregley went upstairs to his room. Fregley tried to get me to play Twister with him, so I made sure I stayed 10 feet away from him at all times. I decided that I should just pull the plug on this stupid idea and go home. But every time I looked out the window, Rowley and Colin were still in Rowley's front yard. I didn't want to leave until those guys went back inside, but things started to get out of hand with Fregley pretty quickly. When I was looking out the window, Fregley broke into my backpack and ate the whole bag of jelly beans I had in there. Fregley's one of these kids who's not supposed to eat any sugar, so 2 minutes later, he was bouncing off the walls. Fregley started acting like a total maniac, and he chased me all around his upstairs. I kept thinking he was going to come down off his Let me reread that. I kept thinking he was going to come down off of his sugar high, but he didn't. Eventually, I locked myself in this bathroom to wait him out. Around 11:30, it got quiet out in the hallway. That's when Fregley slipped a piece of paper under the door. I picked it up and read it. And it says, "Dear Gregory, I'm very sorry I chased you with a booger on my finger. Here, I put it on this paper so you can get me back." By far one of the nastiest scenes I've ever seen in a movie was when they did that in the movie. It still haunts me. I'm not even joking, it still haunts me. It's like nastier to me than, I don't know, it's like some, compared to like a really messed up scene in like more mature and adult movies, that booger is still nastier to me than those other scenes, you know? It's very, very, very gross to me. I don't know why it stuck with me. It still sticks with me it just still sticks with me, but it gives me shivers just thinking about it, you know? That's the last thing I remember before I blacked out. I came to my senses a few hours later. After I woke up, I cracked the door open and I heard snoring coming from Fregley's room. So I decided to make a run for it. Mom and Dad were not happy with me for getting them out of bed at 2 in the morning. But by that his stuff. The other day, I found one of his middle school yearbooks. Roderick wrote on everybody's picture in his yearbook so you can tell how he felt about all the kids in his grade. So, these two are jerks, but that guy's cool. Every once in a while, I see Roderick's old classmates around town, and I have to remember to thank Roderick for making church a lot more interesting. But the page in Roderick's yearbook that's really interesting is the class favorites page. That's where they put pictures of the kids who get voted most popular and most talented and all that. Roger wrote on his class favorite page too. And he called the most likely to succeed guy a nerd. Sounds about right. You know, this class favorites thing has really got my gears turning. If you can get yourself voted onto the class favorites page, you're practically an immortal. Even if you don't live up to what you got picked for, it doesn't really matter because it's on permanent record. People still treat Bill Watson like he's something special, even though he ended up dropping out of high school. We still run into him at the food barn every once in a while. He's saying, "Will that be paper or plastic, ma'am?" So here's what I'm thinking. This school year has been kind of a bust, but if I can get voted as a class favorite, I will go out on a high note. I've been trying to think of a category I have a shot at. Most popular and most athletic are definitely out. So I'm going to have to find something that's a little bit more in reach. At first, I thought maybe I should wear really nice clothes for the rest of the year so I can get best dressed. Alright, on to page 200, the last page for this video. But that would mean I would have to get my picture taken with Jenna Stewart, and she dresses like a pilgrim. Yeah. I don't like that face she's making. Now we're on to Wednesday. Last night, I was laying in bed and it hit me. I should go for class clown. It's not like I'm known for being real funny at school or anything, but if I can pull off one big prank right before voting, that could do it. Then he got a thumbtack on the teacher's seat in his hand. Yow. Yow. Okay. Well, that is the final page for this video. So, only 17 pages left. So one more video after this one, and then we're all good to go with this series. So, anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all are feeling much more relaxed and sleepy